It is clear that their on-the-line workers themselves were identifying problems much sooner than that. And I'm wondering what it is about the culture of EDD that the on-the-line staff's concerns weren't being listened to or dealt with. Instead, we waited until we had an overwhelming number of complaints going to legislators' offices, basically, to deal with it. Definitely not one to bash state employees at any level. However, I think that what I've heard from on-the-line employees and things that I've read, I think in a SACB article that suggested on day one, there was an on-the-line employee who started suggesting to people that there was something wrong. You said, and just even the way you said, we were attributing it to a learning curve. Is that what the actual workers were saying, that it was a learning curve, or were you just deciding from here that down here there was a learning curve and that there wasn't something wrong? I'm just a little curious because these are the things that could interrupt service in the future as well. If we're not having good communication and respect for your on-the-line workers, who, if you went down and talked to them, could probably tell you a lot more. I got in the elevator going up and down to work what was going on, and so I'm a little concerned that up here you're attributing it to something when the workers themselves thought something else was wrong. I would just suggest reviewing the policy, because I think the frustration, and I don't have the answer here, but I can't believe that we have any kind of customer service put in place that requires people to call to a busy line over 40 times. And I think I read 3 to 5% of the calls are actually getting through, and this is as people are being cut off because there's computer errors. So I would just say, and I don't want an explanation. I know you can explain forever. I know you're doing the best and that you guys have been underfunded, and I know that that's true, but moving forward, my suggestion is working with your on-the-line staff to figure out the most efficient and best way to be responsive to the customers, and during that time, implementing a virtual hold system or something where people don't feel quite so shut off from. Because most of the complaints we got had to do with, and I can't even get through, and my emails went unanswered, and I can't reach anyone, and I don't know what's happening. And you can imagine when people aren't receiving a check, on top of that, the uncertainty of not knowing what is going on, if their claim had been processed, if something else was happening, and the uncertainty of how long that would take leads to mental issues, to be quite honest.